I'm getting some leather notes, and not good quality leather either. Like a wet leather, a cheap wet leather. And welcome back to the Beer Garden. And if you're here because you like beer, and let's be honest, why else would you be? Tap that subscribe button, please. And we appreciate your subscription, subscribe, and support. And no matter what platform you're watching this on, please follow or subscribe. We appreciate it. And it is a steamy, humid day here in the Beer Garden. My beard is fluff with humidity, and due to the last video that I shot, if you're watching these in succession, God bless you, I appreciate that. Or maybe it's your first time here. The last time we did Beers of Aldi, I did a versus, and it blew up huge. All-time views per the whole algorithm just blew up like crazy. So we figured we'd push our luck and try it again. So Beers of Aldi. This time, let's go for Merchant's Keep IPA and Maguire's Draught Stouts. And keeping in tradition of the last Beers of Aldi brew review, I did absolutely no research in these. I have absolutely no idea what either of these beers are going to be like. They're both brewed from State of Brewing in Waunakee, Wisconsin. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly if you're watching from Wisconsin. Is it Waunakee, Wisconsin? State of Brewing apparently is part of an Octo Brew group or something, and they keep pumping out all these beers that they sell at Aldi. So hey, there you go. Overwhelming viewer support. People want to hear about beers from Aldi. They're anywhere from $6.99 to $7.99 a six-pack, so it definitely qualifies for a cheap brew. I'm kind of interested in this Merchant's Keep IPA. I like the label. Nice, simple, 6% alcohol. Hello. And then we got the Maguire's Draught Stout, which coming from, I don't know, I'm very skeptical of this. They're trying to make it look Irish, and this comes in at 4.2%. And what cracks me up about was it the Merchant's Keep? Where is it on the label? Oh yeah, I don't know when you're watching this video, but if you're brand new watching this, it's the year 2022. And what cracks me up about this, it says right here, can you see it? Since 2021. Merchant's Keep IPA. That's quite a brewing tradition, going almost a full year. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do, because we have two of these brews from Aldi, we need two glasses to separate them. Of course, the sold out, very popular Beer Snobs Cheap Brew Review pint glass, only to be accentuated with the leather patch trucker's cap. Very hipster. Yes, very nice. And then we have a plain pint glass from my friends at McManus Pub, our very good friends of the family from New Jersey, McManus. Glad to have them along for the ride. Okay. Let's go ahead and pop the top. Going into the Beer Snobs Cheap Brew Review glass is the Merchant's Keep IPA, because I'm more interested in it than the Maguire's Irish Stout. Let's pop the top and see what we got. Okay, pretty good standard, fairly exciting open. Let's give it a pour. Very nice color. Again, Beers of Aldi series, an overwhelming request. All these beers are from the same brewer again, State of Brewing in Wisconsin. All right, I like the color. And again, this is the Merchant's Keep IPA. Decent color, sort of a soapy macro head. And for you people who are about to start complaining in the comments below, I just washed this glass. I don't know if you can tell the effervescence of it, or evanescence, but I'm getting a lot of bubbles from it. The glass is clean, people. Some people hammer me and say, "Oh, your glass is filthy. That's why you're getting all those bubbles." All right, and then in the McManus Pub is the Maguires. So we're keeping it Irish to Irish. Irish. Okay. Nice plain black cap, much like Mike Tyson. Again, Irish. I remember Mike Tyson, when he came out, he had just like black shorts on, plain black shoes, and just like a black towel over his head. No Nothing fancy. Let the work talk for itself. All right, we're talking a stout here, 4.2%, so I'm a little disappointed with the alcohol content, but it's keeping in line with a lot of your stouts at under 5%. Okay, you've got, and again, trust me, this is a clean bottle. I just washed this thing. In the McManus Pub glass, McGuire's Draught Stout. Okay, first of all, it's not very drafty. There's no nitro in it at all. And so I'm sort of encouraged by the khaki head. It is getting a little fluffy on top, which I'm happy to see. Back to the Merchant's Keep IPA. Still retaining the head, which I'm really sort of surprised. And again, kind of fluffy in the middle. I'm detecting a bit of soapy lacing on it. And I'm going to go ahead with a 6% at first, Merchant's Keep IPA. Sort of a fruity floral note off the top. Smells very refreshing. I don't want to bias the jury, but I still look very forward to this. All right, so here we go. And hey, I don't want to drink alone, so grab yourself a beer. And time for the liquid to hit the lips. Cheers. Save a little bit there. Now, I'm a fairly new fan to IPAs. I've fought IPAs for years because there was just such the end thing. They were so trendy. Everybody was doing IPAs, and I'm like going, ugh. And they were usually too hoppy for me. They weren't thirst quenching because they were so hoppy and so dry, a lot of them, and it wasn't enjoyable for me. But I guess my palate has changed a little bit. They've diversified the IPA a little bit. I'm a fan of the extra pale ale. I like that because it's not quite as hoppy. However, the India Pale Ale, it wasn't until just about maybe a year ago that I started enjoying it. This one, you get those sort of piney notes right off the top. It starts off floral and fruity. You dig into it and you get that piney hoppiness that hits right on the front of the tongue too, and then squirts back to the middle of the tongue right before you swallow. Overall, not bad. I believe this was $7.99 a six-pack. Show the bottle. What is it again? Merchant's Keep IPA. Since 2021. They've been banging it out for almost a year. 6% alcohol. Okay, fairly pleased with that. Let's move on, shall we, to the second beer from Aldi in the McManus Pub pint glass, the Maguires Draught Stout, just sort of sloppily drawn on there. I'm not impressed with the graphics of the label at all. To me, I'm a visual guy. I'm a graphics communicator with a degree in graphic design, and it's just, you just got a little script there, slopping out Draught Stout. You have a feeble attempt here at a sort of a Celtic knot. 4.2%, again, bottled by State of Brewing in Waunakee, Wisconsin. I bit my tongue when I said that. In the McManus Pub glass. Okay. All head we had before is pretty much dissipated. I'm getting some notes of damp basement. Maybe a little bit of a prune. Perhaps a fig. I don't know if that's fig or perhaps the fig tree behind me in the beer garden. 4.2%. I'm turning my nostrils inside out trying to pull any sort of usable notes out of it. Really not getting much of anything. All right. Once again, try to keep up. Time for the liquid to hit the lips. I don't want to drink alone. Grab yourself another beer. Cheers. Or sláinte. Kate meal vulture. Okay, that it doesn't taste cold. It's a cold beer. It's a properly served temperature beer. What can I compare this to? Let me work on that on the side. But right off the bat, I got into it. I went from the prune or fig right to tobacco, and then it kind of really sort of got. There's a little bit of a fuzziness to it. I kind of felt like I'm drinking a porter. It seems more porter than stout, and I feel like I'm in a bar where somebody's smoking a cigar sitting right next to me while I'm drinking a beer. That's what it tastes like. I'm getting some leather notes, and not good quality leather either. Kind of that like a wet leather, a cheap wet leather feel. Say if you're stomping around on a rainy, wet day, perhaps in Ireland, because at least part of every day in Ireland is wet and rainy, with some cheap leather shoes on, and then you get back home, or you go to the pub, and you belly up to the bar, grab yourself a pint, and then go find a table over by the fireplace, pop those shoes off so they can dry a little bit, but you want to sniff them. That's the smell we get right there. That's pretty much the wet leather tobacco taste of McGuire's Draught Stout, 4.2% alcohol. All right, try to compare this. I like to compare beer because I can say whether I like something or I don't, but of course you're watching this and yeah, you have a completely different take on what you like as well. I'm not sure what to compare this to because I don't drink cheap stouts. I like Guinness, of course. Guinness is my all-time favorite. I like Murphy's is a good stout too. This is not that. This tastes kind of like a guy who lives next door who does some garage home brewing, maybe some basement home brewing. Maybe that's where that basement taste came in. It tastes kind of like that. Not awful. It's kind of drinkable, but I would probably drink a proper Irish stout first, and then out of desperation, maybe late in the evening, go ahead and pop a couple of these into the fridge or the cooler. What am I going to say? All right, so compare and contrast the Aldi beers of Merchant's Keep IPA and McGuire's Draught Stout, two totally opposite beers. Of course, you've got the hops involved with the stout and the IPA, but really two totally different beers, two totally different scores is what I'm going to give these. Out of 5 stars, where would I put? Let's go with Merchant's Keep IPA at first. 5 being an excellent cheap brew. I'm going to go ahead and put this up here again. If I see this again at Aldi, Merchant's Keep IPA, I would buy it again. Again, $6.99 or $7.99 a 6-pack, so right at my threshold for a cheap brew, but a really good taste overall, and it's still sort of. There's the lacing. You know what I say about lacing? If there's lacing, that's some sign of quality somewhere in the brewing process and the ingredients. So that's still there. It's still holding a little bit ahead. And so well done. Out of 5 stars, I'm going to give Merchant's Keep IPA. I'm going to put it up there on the 4 shelf, 4.398 out of 5 stars. Definitely. If you see Merchant's Keep IPA at Aldi, pick it up. All right, but now for McGuire's attempt at an Irish Draught Stout. And again, it doesn't say Irish anywhere on it, but just because it's called McGuire's and it has a Celtic knot with some hops dangling off of it, which looks like a couple of testicles. It's not great. Would I buy this again? No. However, if you're looking for a budget value stout, spend a couple of dollars extra and go for a Guinness or a Murphy's, please. or maybe even a local stout. Like I said, this tastes like your neighbor who home brews in the basement. Out of 5 stars, where am I going to put this beer from Aldi's Maguires Draught Stout? I'm going to have to put you on the 2 shelf, 2.012 out of 5 stars. And I'm thinking I may be a little generous at that 2 plus score. Okay, there you go. Hey, I appreciate you hanging in there to the end. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Tap that subscribe button or follow, depending on the platform you're watching this on. Hey, be sure to join our group on Facebook, A Beer Snobs Cheap Brew Review. We're also on Instagram, if you're not watching this on Instagram, but on YouTube. Awesome. We're just here to have fun and drink some beer. Love to hear your ideas on beers from Aldi, and also suggestions for other beers you would like for me to review. And it's a beautiful day here in the beer garden, so why don't you grab yourself a beer and you drink that beer. Cheers.